very professional. Dun, 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 dun,
Since
dun,
when
dun.
are we
Hi, Nick.
professional? Hey, Greg. Hey there, beer tubers. Welcome back to Beer Analysis 101 with your host, Macwell Star. Tonight, we are going to do, considering it's Easter weekend coming up here, and we're supposed to have a Good Friday in a couple of days here, but we're going to have a Good Wednesday. I don't know if there's any kind of religious name or something for Wednesday. I mean, I'm
Whack It Wednesday.
personally agnostic, but I mean, at the same
Ash
time,
Wednesday's a thing.
Yeah,
Whack It Wednesday.
Ashley Sexton Wednesday. He's not even here.
Ooh,
So we're gonna do
Sexton.
religious themed beers. I'll introduce what I have when it comes to my turn. But namaste. Let's get on to. Please be careful. Let's move on to who we have next before we offend everybody, which I'm sure will come in time. Hi, Greg.
Speaking of offending people, hi, Nick.
Exactly. Prepare to be offended.
I'm
Prepare to have my chat taken down.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna yell the N word. Let's recite. Carrie, can you sing that song that has the N word in it a whole lot of times?
Council of Nicaea.
I could, but I'm not going to.
Oh. All right, Greg.
Well, then we failed to take Nick's chat down.
All seriousness, Greg. How are you tonight? First of all,
I'm doing okay, Nick. I got a fire going because it's chilly in the basement. I'm happy to hear that my good buddy Nick has had some good successes in his life lately. And Carrie is somebody's Eskimo brother, and Dan continues to be old. But everyone's
showed up before the show started, so
he actually did.
That part is
That's
true.
because we're late starting, but we won't hold that completely against him. But
that part is true. So I mean, everyone's having a great day today. I'm about to have a beer, so I'm in a good mood. So what did I bring? Are you asking me, Nick? Is that what you'd like to know? Well, this could be a beer that could actually represent religion, if perhaps I was a deity. It would be Gregorius Trappist Ale.
Oh,
that's like the perfect beer for you to bring tonight.
We got Dan excited there. Now I did bring it
there
as one
you go, Greg. I am honoring you.
Oh yeah, there you go, Dan. but don't put it into anything nice. It makes holes. You don't want to do that.
It's a bottle opener.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a pin. I thought it was like
nope.
a pin you stuck on, a pin. I did bring this for one episode in the past. I don't remember. It was given a choice, and I don't think you guys chose it from what I remember, but it was given an option. I have had it before, but at 10.5% alcohol, I don't remember it. So basically, I'm drinking this for the first time. Oh, shit. That's my history.
Yeah, it's like a quad from Austria. So from a Trappist brewery. So it really is religious themed, brewed by monks.
Yeah, I mean, literally, they probably put a little bit of Jesus juice into this.
Jesus. All right. So let's move along. Let's move along to Redbeard. He's got a little bit the Jesus juice in his beard.
Somewhere.
Whoa.
Jesus. All right, please.
Saving it for a brewery day, I take it.
Damn.
I bought the only religious thing going for the Trappist thing with the monks. That's the only thing I can think of.
I think I know what it is.
Nothing else. It's Chimay and it's blue. So, yeah.
I know you don't care about Belgians, but that is a super tasty beer.
It's got the little focus. There it is. Authentic Trappist product. And best before
long time from now. Like 2020.
28.
That sounds like it's still even got a few years on it. I think that's actually, what was it? Like, I think they have, it's like best before dates are 5 years in advance. So that was like 10, 20, 23 probably was brewed.
Yeah.
It'll probably age longer than that. All right. Thank you, Gary. Let's move along to Mr. Dan. Yeah.
Hi.
What do you got tonight? Or first of all, how are you doing? You haven't been on in a while.
I haven't been on in a while, a couple of weeks. I'm doing good. I'm doing very good.
Awesome.
Nice 5 days off coming up. So, I thought I'd go hard, go strong. And
you had a marathon work session in there.
10 days in a row.
It look like you're ready to harvest some lumber.
You leave my Mac jacket out of this. It looks beautiful. Covers up the flying monkeys. Anyways.
Mac Dan, Daddy and Mac.
So I too went with the monk way, and I actually had a choice of 3 different ones, but I decided to go with this one since you said before the show to choose one that I've never had before. So I'm I'm having Le Trappist quadruple.
Ooh.
And it's a nice strong 10% beer. And
the Triple
quad.
I forget what's the name of the Trappist brewery that makes that. That's the I used to know it.
I was looking it up.
Koenigshoven, I think.
Yes,
Koenigshoven.
G. Koenigshoven brewery.
Yeah, we used to get the La Trappe Triple here, like as a standard, always on the shelf beer. But now Indie Liquor sucks.
Yep.
That's awesome. I haven't seen that in a while. I have had that in the past. It is a very, 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 very tasty beer.
We've already got someone that has disagreed with it, but you know.
Yeah, of course, Paul. Okay, so thank you, Dan. Oh shit. We have a wild, I'm assuming Jamie.
Hi, Nick.
Aphrodite. I suppose it's a Greek goddess, isn't it?
It's a Greek goddess.
Yeah, well played. So first of all, how you doing tonight, Jamie? Nice to see you.
Doing good, Nick. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Hope I didn't miss too much.
No, you missed Dan talking about his beer, so you didn't miss anything at all.
Oh, I was hoping to see Jamie's lovely face.
We'll do a real quick recap here for the latecomers here. But first of all, Aphrodite from Dieu du Ciel. I don't know if I've had that one.
This is the first time I've seen it.
I'm looking that one up to see what is that shit. Stop is this cocoa stout? Oh, okay. It used to be called like in Quebec. It's called aphrodisiac.
Everything
That's
about Quebec is an aphrodisiac.
Yeah, like let me show. Remember how
actually I'm pretty
Dieu du Ciel has changed all their labels.
I was gonna say it used to be called aphrodisiac when we could get it in Ontario too, but I haven't seen that beer in forever. I don't see anything from Dieu du Ciel anymore.
Yeah, the label used to look like this.
Yeah.
When they
yes.
I mean
yes.
labels are
that's an amazing
okay,
beer.
but I miss the old labels from Dieu du Ciel because they had kick-ass drawings on them, man.
Okay. Yeah, I thought this was a new beer. I don't know if I've even had that one before. I probably have, but it's been long enough that I don't remember it. So here we go.
Yeah, no. I've had.
So that's my history.
It's extremely tasty as well. So this should be an interesting night. Okay, so I'm gonna put myself back up, and thank you, Jamie. By the way, I'm gonna introduce what is probably the least Trappist of them all. This is from Petit Saut in Edmundston, New Brunswick. Sir Catherine Old School IPA. And I dug up the little blurb from Petit Saut on their website about this. This is a beer brewed in honor of Edith Marquis. She was born in St. Agatha in Maine in 1898. I'm guessing that's around Madawaska County. She later became Sister Catherine and a nun and grade 1 teacher in Edmundston. Her class was not the most popular, but this teacher forged character several generations. Inspired by her legendary stubbornness, this is methodically brewed with 5 varieties of hops. Its bitterness will bring you to your knees. Anyway, so yeah, it's named after a nun. That's about as religious as I could get. I couldn't get a single Trappist beer here.
I wonder if you taught any residential schools.
All right, so we've got a shit ton of comments, but before we get to them, I'm going to circle back around, and since Greg won't sit down,
I'm tending to the fire, Nick. Do you want me to read comments, Nick?
No, I was going to get you to tell us about your history with Gregorius. I know you've had it before.
Oh, I've had it once before. I brought it on a show. I let you guys choose. I don't think it was picked, but I could be wrong. If somebody wants to actually do the research and look through all of Nick's old shows, I don't even remember what the theme was. Be my guest. Otherwise, essentially, this is the first time I've ever had it. I haven't even poured it yet, so this is history about to be made.
History making out. All right.
Jesus, Nick, we're in church. Be more respectful.
Jesus is the theme of the night, isn't it?
Or Jesus, depending what part of the world you're from.
Zeus, yeah. Well, you got Aphrodite here. All right, so
Jesus, motherfucker.
Redbeard. I'm
Hell
pretty sure
Satan.
you've had that one before too, haven't you? The Chimay Bleu.
I've never reviewed it, but I feel like I've had it. The only thing I've reviewed was Chimay Red.
Yeah.
I want to say I've had at least a couple other ones, but history potentially about to be made right now.
All right. Okay, let's keep on rolling over to Mr. Dan. Dan Rig 13.
Well, my history is none to nil. This is it tonight. I've seen it on the shelves a lot, and I've always wanted to pick it up, but I always go back and grab my favorite one, which is the Trappist Rochefort 10. And I've always said I should try this, so here we are trying it today.
Nice.
And at 10%, it's actually it'll be a good start from the looks of things.
All right. So let's move over to Mr. Jamie. Jamie.
Oh, Jam.
Hi,
Remember your
hi,
history
Nick.
with this one?
Well, not with this label. If it was that other one, I may have had it at one point. It says here, stout. Where does it say it? Cacao and vanilla stout. It says on the side there. Probably can't read it.
What's the
So
ABV
I don't know
on
if that's the same as the original one that you had up on screen, but
What's the ABV?
yeah, if I had it, I don't remember it. 6.5 actually.
I want to say the other one was like 8 or 9, wasn't it?
Nope, it was 6.5.
Really?
Yeah, probably the same beer.
I'm
Yeah,
thinking
because
of
don't
something else then.
confuse Aphrodite with Péché Mortel. Mortel was much stronger.
That's exactly what I just did. That's what I was confusing.
But yeah, I've had that before. I know I'm interrupting your history, but yeah, that's all it is. They call it Aphrodite in English markets. Aphrodisiac is what they call it in Quebec, and I have always gotten the Quebec cans for Quebec, and I think Ontario is the same way. So it's probably if you go out west and where they don't like French people, that's probably where you start.
Does anyone like French people? The French people don't like French people.
Right. Okay. So let's keep moving along to moi, and I can talk about my history. I'm the only one here that's got an extensive history, I guess, with this one. I don't remember the last time I had this one. I know that my Untapped, I've tapped it in 3 times, all in like 2015, 2016 area. So if I've had it, it's been a while. I don't think I ever reviewed it on the channel. Yeah, this is one of Petit Cell's old school beers. It's like they're one of their original beers that they produced when the brewery opened back in 2014. So, yeah, I mean that my memory of this one is vague. It's always been one on the shelf. I remember having it before, and it wasn't my favorite beer from Petit Cell, so I never gravitated to it. And the other thing was like there was there's beers that I liked over from Petit Cell, but Petit Cell was a pretty good value back in the day because you used to be able to buy the beers in like a stubby bottles that were like $3 a piece. They don't do that anymore. Unfortunately, this bastard was like $5, so everything's $5. But yeah, I mean, I'll get to my thoughts on this one here in a moment. But have I had this before? Yes, years ago. And it's kind of funny, like everybody's talking about like, oh, this is the first time I've had it, or I don't remember it, and I've had everybody's beer here tonight. So I'm not the winner yet, but maybe it will be. I doubt it. All right, so I feel like we have a shit ton of comments now. It's like the first time in a long time that's happened. Anybody want to read them?
I don't have the ability to, so
Yeah, I can read them.
I mean, if Greg would unmute himself, he would be able to say yes.
That would probably help.
Nice. Scott was asking, "Where's my beer review? Where's my beer review?" Then he's Greg. I'm not even sure what he's doing here. Greg, everyone had a great day. Scott puts says up for sale. Great day indeed. Good job. Greg looks like to be a nice beer. Oh, okay, that's a thing you typed.
Okay.
Cheers, Paul.
Cheers, Paul.
Echt has a Lent beer, I believe, and it's very delicious. Trap Quad was a bit of a
I
letdown.
like the Roche beer guys.
Scott, Chance, Dan. Scott, are you drunk right now, buddy? You're being weird. And then Lee, Lent is for Catholic assholes like Jay Terrio. Dan says hi to Scott. And I think Lee, that's up my Eskimo brother. Have a good night. Fuck Jesus. Probably wasn't a real guy. There was some guy named Jesus, but yeah. And then
there's probably some historical figure that the stories are based on, but but the question I got to ask Mr. Lee is, show us on the doll where Jesus touched you that you're so upset.
Show us on the doll where Jesus saved you. Yeah.
Although if Lee was legitimately molested by a priest at some point, then I take the joke back because that's not cool. Priests don't molest kids. It's not cool, or at least don't get caught.
Yeah, this episode was a bad idea.
Don't get caught. That was great.
Don't
get
caught.
That South Park episode where like the priest goes to all the other priests and he's like, they're trying to figure out what to do about being. He's like, just stop molesting kids. We can't do that. No,
no, we need to get them to stop. We need to get them to stop tattling on us. Come on. I was exactly thinking of that episode when I said that too. I swear to God, like South Park has shaped more of my personality than just about anything else.
Someone should have brought a wine, right? And some bread,
some good old Jesus juice.
Yeah,
a wine beer would have been good. I mean, I was looking at Lindemann's like lambics, but I'm like, that's not.
Would a farmhouse ale be religious-ish?
Yeah, but you got to recognize the context. It's got to be made by an abbey or an abbey style.
Okay, I was just thinking.
Or has to have a name.
I think one of the non-LCBO places here in town, last time I was there, they had one of the variants of Bellwood's Farmageddon, so probably wouldn't quite qualify.
I think the most well played is Jamie's Aphrodite. Is like that is a Greek goddess.
Actually, I didn't go to the independent grocer here. Last time I was there, they had whatever that Brimstone IPA is, with it's got like the praying hands on it.
Oh,
Sinister Minister.
Sinister Minister. That's it.
That's the one. That would have been decent.
I was actually half expecting somebody to bring that.
And that's actually the first one I thought of when you talked about this.
The name of that beer would have fit in perfectly to the subject matter we were talking about recently.
Sinister. You should have been more careful.
Yeah, I actually wanted to bring that beer, but it's not that available around me, and I have the feeling they're probably just old stock, and I've had that beer old, and it's not good.
That would have been the issue with going to the independent grocer here. They have a fantastic selection, but pretty much nothing is kept in the fridge, so you really hit or miss.
Yeah, well, I got a really old can of that a few months ago, and that was just from the LCBO, so...
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I was telling the lady, she's like, you should have returned it. I'm like, yeah, I didn't feel like taking the gas to drive to the LCBO to return one can of beer. I still drank it. It got me drunk. I was fine.
Yeah, that one doesn't hold up to time, that's for sure.
No, it doesn't.
Not a lot of IPAs tend to hold up to time, just as a rule. But
some better than others. I mean, yeah, I personally think hazies hold up a little bit better than West Coast ones do.
I honestly wouldn't really. I don't think I've.
Depends on the hazy.
Think about it.
I feel like you get West Coast, like the West kind of coast, kind of pine forward hops. No, I'm thinking West Coast. But you know what I mean? Like the Pine Forward hops tend to have this weird kind of like stale
I find they
bitterness
get more
Yeah.
resiny, almost like almost
resin.
weird,
They get more
almost like
resiny,
weirdly sweet.
but like the tropical fruit ones, they tend to stay tropical fruit. They just wear off. They just lose their flavor.
Yeah, and I actually find some hazies, depending how they're made, usually not very good. Good hazies are like they have what you like to call a hop burn. And I find actually if you throw those in the fridge for like a month or so, they actually smooth out a little bit, so it actually makes it better a little bit.
Little bit.
But again, it varies beer to beer. I mean, I'll tell you, a 10-year-old steam whistle, not good. Not good. The best way I can describe it, it's this will be like a ghee description. It's like drinking an orange candy.
That was like
That sounds delicious,
for
actually.
a second.
It does.
Yeah,
It's just delicious. That's the weird thing about Gee's tasting notes. He's got some like fucking bizarre things he says, like linoleum cream or something like that, and all of a sudden you're like, you know what? Yeah, right. It does taste like that. I don't know where his mind pulls this shit out of his ass, but he's right usually.
Well, Gee's a strange fella, but we like him. He just needs to stop getting people pregnant.
Tastes like orange candies and hairspray and.
Well, I mean, I think everyone's
Band-Aids.
probably who's been around a woman, whether it's a significant other or your mom or something, has probably tasted hairspray to some degree because you're just like, oh, it's like in my mouth.
Jesus.
Accurate. We have one viewer right now. We lost all of our viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
We know who that one
We know
viewer
who
is.
it is because Lady Lee is in the chat saying, "What's next week's beer?"
She
I
wants
was
us to
gonna
end the show early.
I was gonna say people show up, see if Lady Lee's here. If not, they're like, fuck these guys, and they leave.
That's basically it. They're waiting for Lady Lee to show up, and when she doesn't, they just take off. Nope, Lee's not here. Why keep watching? Okay, I think, and the other people are just offended. So why don't we just get it over with, and I'm gonna bring Greg up front first.
Greg.
Greg.
Actually,
Hi, Greg.
Beer.
call me
Geg.
Gregorius. So,
Glorious.
this is like very uncarbonated. Non-carbonated, well, I guess whatever the term is.
Flat.
Well, flat would also work. So this is a weird one for me because it is extremely sweet, but it's also balanced by also being extremely bitter at the same time. It's kind of, you first drink it, you're like, oh, this is orange candy. And then it's, and then you swallow it, it's like, oh, it's like a Frenchman's underarm. So
I'm not even going to ask how you know that.
What the fuck?
it's just very, in general, very bitter. So
I would have said the Frenchman's breath, but
wow. So you know what? Despite that odd tasting note I just made, I actually kind of like this because I actually feel like the sweetness is kind of like, you're like, oh, this is way too sweet. Then you're like, the bitter kind of balances it. So I actually don't mind this. Now I should be more professional, but hold on. I want to look up on Untapped what this is actually classified as. So I'm assuming this is a Belgian dark ale, unless they don't say if it's a tripel or a quad or anything. So let's see if they'll tell me. Oh, okay, it's a quad. Okay, fair enough. I would have probably just called it a Belgian, just a Belgian dark, but what do I know? So that means it's competing with Westy 12, which I haven't had in 8 years. Then it's competing with Rochefort 12, which I like it, but I'll be honest, that beer has always been something for me that I like. It's a very good beer, but I do feel it's overrated. And then there's
12?
Rochefort 10. Is it Rochefort 10?
10.
Yeah, Rochefort.
That's
10.
the one. Rochefort 12 is awful. That's why they don't make it anymore. Or ever. Ooh, my fire's
Well, technically speaking, there's a slight difference between an Abbott and a quad. So, Rochefort 10 is actually an Abbott. But I'm muddying the waters here. Keep going.
I was gonna say, Nick, do you want to tell us what the difference is? Because I don't know.
Fuck. I think quads are lighter.
Okay.
Although I gotta admit, there's something to be said. I think Rush for 10 is somewhat light. I forget.
I can let you know in a few minutes if you want. Sorry,
There
Greg.
we
Didn't mean
go.
to interrupt.
Dan's gonna let us. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. I also like Saint Bernardus 12. That one's usually a pretty solid. It is 12, right? It's not 10 or 11 or 13. It's 12, I think.
Saint Bernardus 12 is an Abbott.
Okay, whatever. So since there's no other beers in this category, this is like an 11 out of 10, and it is. I do like to get some more interesting flavors from a Belgian beer. Like, Paul will tell you shouldn't get banana. It means it's a bad beer. I want banana in my beers. No banana in this. Mainly, it's despite my Frenchman armpit thing earlier, it's really more of a really dark chocolate. But like that really dark chocolate that's like you bite into it, it's like there's no sugar added to this. This is just fucking sweet. And then the scientists tell you this is the chocolate that's healthy for you, but you're like, I don't want to eat it. I want to eat milk chocolate. So that's kind of what this tastes like. So it's very chocolatey, kind of has that sweet, almost candy sugar, orange candy, almost that kind of thing in the front. So geese here in spirit. So it's good. I don't know what to think of it because it kind of combines flavors I don't like, but it kind of puts them together in a way that I kind of like the balance of it. So let's say a Westie 12 is a 10. Let's say a St. Bernardus 12 is a 9. This is probably a solid 7.5. It's good. I like it. I don't have that many quads to really rate it against, but I have had some that are just, to me, a mess because they're just way too sweet. Usually ones that are made by, in North America or Ontario when brewers try to make quads. Usually European ones are better. And personal enjoyment. You know what? I kind of like the flavors of it. Again, weird combination, but they work. And it's 10.5%. So, it's not that 11.9 you want to see, but still decent to get you drunk. I'm going to give it a 7.5 as well. Why not? 7.5 is all across the board.
7.5.
7.5, making it easy.
I'm
easy, Nick.
Trying to find the description of between Abbott and Quad. There is a difference. I'm just trying to find it. The internet's so buried with shit nowadays because it's been like 10 years since I've read the original descriptions between the two of them. I know they're different, but the internet is got them so crossed over they kind of blended together. Quad and Abbott are the same fucking thing. And the thing I remember is that, and actually this one's kind of shout out to Dan, is that a quad originated with, we just lost Jamie. The style of quad originated with La Trappe's quad, but Abbott's existed before that, and there's like St. Bernardus Abbott 12, Rochefort 12.
What is the difference between a quad beer style and an Abbott beer style?
And that's not going to work.
This is
same shit.
This is Chad GBT. This is Chad GBT.
Oh, Chad GBT.
It's giving me a whole lot of information. You want me to read this all?
Read some of it. Okay,
curious.
It says.
Wake me up when it's my turn.
All right. Hold on. Let me see if I can just get okay, I'll just read the flavor profiles. So, flavor profile of a quad. Quadruples are known for their rich, complex flavor profiles. They often have deep, dark fruit flavors like raisin, fig, and plum, along with notes of caramel, chocolate, and sometimes hints of spice. Whereas an Abbey beer is the flavor profile of Abbey beers can vary widely because this category encompasses several styles, including. Oh, stop reading. Sorry, it's picking up everything I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel like it's reading the style of quad versus Abbey, not Abbott.
Yeah, so they're saying the Abbey can encompass several styles, including double, triple, and sometimes quad. generally
Yeah.
are known for their complexity and may include fruity, spicy, and malty notes. So yeah,
Well, I mean, quad is a style of Abbey beers. Abbey beers are clustered. Like this is all beers that are brewed by like single, double, triple quad.
Oh, okay, hold on. So
Have it.
this actually they summarize. In essence, the term quad refers to a specific beer style known for its strength and rich, complex flavors, while Abbey refers to a broader category of beers that are associated with or inspired by monastic brewing traditions, including several different styles. The quad can be considered as part of the Abbey beer tradition, especially when it is brewed by or in the style of monastic breweries. So there you go. And if it comes from ChatGPT, I believe ChatGPT because it's smart.
ChatGPT's wrong. Of course, AI would fuck it up.
Jesus.
So it's
Nick,
artificial intelligence after a while.
Nick, you're gonna be the first one they enslave.
Right. All right.
You're
Thank you,
gonna
Greg.
be the artificial sex toy tester.
Is that really all that bad?
Well, it's all butt toys.
Jesus. Fuck you.
Yeah,
Greg.
Jesus.
All right. Is the theme of the night. Hey, Redbeard, now you got to follow that up. How's your stream?
Okay. It's tasty. Like, it's tasty. I don't. It's got like some nice dark fruity, figgy, caramelly, chocolatey. Absolutely no hint of it being 9% alcohol. Yeah, I like it. It's just, I'm not even sure what exactly the style is supposed to be of this beer. It just says extra strong beer. Like I know they make Chimay red and white, blue,
And green.
Don't think I've seen green.
Green's a thing.
It is. If you look at the picture,
I'm not saying I don't believe you. I just haven't seen it.
And barrel aged. Sorry,
I
didn't mean
think,
to
I
interrupt.
think the green is new though, isn't it?
Like it doesn't say anything about the actual style of this beer. It's a strong, dark brown beer with fruity, chocolate, and spicy aromas, whose flavor gets better and better with time. The Trappist logo certifies that this beer is brewed in a Trappist abbey and that the majority of sales income is intended for social aid. Beer fermented in the bottle. So yeah, Trappist is the style. I don't fucking know. Like it's
that's a Belgian strong dark ale.
Oh, there we go. Sure.
Pretty close and
like, when does it become a quad or a triple? Like, what's the differentiating factors there? What's a Belgian strong? What a
That's a good question.
What an
it's
inspired name for a beer style. Belgian strong ale. Ooh.
Belgian strong dark ale.
Sorry, dark ale. Weird.
Because it's not like you can do doubles like IPAs where it's a certain percentage. This is a different thing altogether.
I don't freaking know. I'm sure I've had
popular Trappist beers out there that defy style. Like look at Orval.
I'm sure I've had at least a couple other Belgian style dark strong ales. So I don't know. I'm just gonna basically rate the style on my personal enjoyment. I'm gonna go 9 for style and 8.5 personal enjoyment.
All right, that's fair enough.
That's
You're generally not a big fan of Belgian beers, are you?
I think that's not a thing anymore. It's honestly been a while at this point since I've had a Belgian beer that I've been like, oh, what the fuck? Like I think my palate has it's come around to this.
Nice.
So
I believe it. That's a super fucking tasty beer. All right. Thank you, Redbeard. Let's move over to Dan. He's also got an interesting beer. Let's see what he thinks about the OG quad.
So having this, it feels lighter than what I'm used to for a Trappist. Lighter in the way of flavor, kind of. Body, I guess. You get more of a raisin off this, more of a fig. The alcohol is not present as you usually get with Trappist beers. As someone who really enjoys Trappist, I had to pull down my Westy 12 bottle for Greg, but he fucked
Thank you,
off to
Dan.
go play with his fire.
I am. I'm still here in spirit, though, Dan. I'm like Jesus.
And afterwards, after everything's said and done tonight, I'm actually going to be having a West Male Trappist Tripel. But I'm having a Trappist night tonight because I love my Trappist beers. It was actually one of the styles that I really got into when we tried the Trappist Rochefort 10. But this one, it's as PA Bruno says, a little bit of a letdown. You know, he's not entirely wrong. It's there, but it feels more of a safe Trappist than anything else. And when I say safe, I mean it is more for the public to enjoy, to get themselves into said Trappist style. But I mean, you do get the raisin, you do get the Belgian yeast, you also get the spices off of there. It's actually not a bad beer, and for 10%, you're never wrong. Well, so far you're okay. Okay, I can't dispute that. But at the same point in time, it is actually it's a decent beer. I like it. I do like it a lot. It is a good stepping stone into the Trappist market. You can go with their Tripel that they have. I went with a quadruple because I wanted something stronger than their Tripel. But at the same point in time, it works for me. For their style, you know what? It's an 8 for enjoyability. I like Trappist beers. I can't there's a lot of great ones out there because they know how to fucking make them, because you know what? They've been making them for centuries. So it's going to be a 9 for me for enjoyability.
Nice. But yeah, like going on about the whole Abbott versus Quad thing, like that's actually the original quad, because before that beer popularized the name quadruple because it just kind of goes with single, double, quad, right?
Yeah.
Or single, double, triple. But Belgian breweries, they used to brew their strongest beer and name it after the abbot of the head of the brewery. So that would be like their special release. And that's where you get like Abbott 12 from St. Bernardus or like West Flintern 12 or something like that. But in this case here, they came out with that, and that ended up being what everybody thinks of as a quad. But that I always feel like quads are lighter, like that, and that's like the OG quad, and that should tell you right there. Like it's almost like a lighter, almost like a double, but it's stronger.
You have a look at the two here.
Now, is that your Rochefort 10?
Yeah, this is the Rochefort 10 here.
Darker.
Yeah. And that's this is the other one that's in a delirium glass, just because I wanted to throw that out there tonight. I mean, yeah, the Rochefort 10 is much darker in the way of the style and everything, and it's classed as a quad 2, isn't it? Or no, that's classed as an Abbott.
That's an Abbott, but I mean, you're really splitting hairs. Everybody calls them the same style nowadays. Everything's a quad. Everything's a quad, but that one's technically more of an Abbott, and that's a super fucking tasty Abbott.
New England IPA.
Like when it comes to Abbott, people like the archetype of that one is like the St. Bernardus 12, which is like actually the OG West Flutterin 12 before West Flutterin had to go for the change the yeast. Actually, it's not even change of the yeast strain. It's like West Flutterin had to start making the beer in their own brewery, but the brewery they used to make West Flutterin kept making it in the early 1990s with permission to use the same recipe. So the original West Flutterin recipes are actually the St. Bernardus recipes. So I'm a huge fan of Belgian beers. Like they used to be like the OG. So this is why I'm like in my moment here. I'm trying to be careful, Jamie, but I'm just like.
No, he's not being careful. He's just
not being careful at all. Hey, if I flush this channel down the toilet, who cares?
And I mean,
alrighty.
Like I got this Westy 12 a while ago, and it was $30. It cost me $30.
Holy shit! But that's actually a real West Flutter and 12. I mean, that's the ones I had back in the day. Wasn't a real West Flutter and 12. I still have my bottle, but mine actually said West Flutter and 12 on the bottle, silkscreen, because it was a release meant to be produced and sold in North America to support the brewery because they wanted to do some renovations. That's actually from Belgium.
It is. Someone brought it back from Belgium.
Somebody brought that back from Belgium. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they're like, okay, it cost them $20 plus they brought it back. I was like, okay, here's an extra 10 for your troubles type thing. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
Dan paid extra for the happy ending.
Cool beans.
Oh, fucking rights, right. I did. When it came for a Westie 12, yes, I did.
I would have. All right. So it's Jamie's turn.
Hi, Nick.
There. That looks like a gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm here. Too. It's just my feed is cut out a couple times, so apologies if I drop again. But yeah, this Aphrodite, it's pretty good. Like it. It's it fools you when you first take a sip. It like the main notes. It's just it says it has cocoa beans and vanilla beans, and that's basically. You get a little bit of the vanilla, which is to me good. It's not overpowering. I don't really like a lot of vanilla. So just that little hint is great. The cocoa beans, you get the bitterness after the sip, which is probably the best part of it. The only thing is it's thin, like it's 6.5%. So that's what I said, right? 6.5. Yeah. So it's when you first take a sip, it fools you into like it's a big stout. It has that aroma, a little bit of that taste right at the start, and then it washes down very very thin. So for 6.5% stout, highly enjoyable. For style, I'll give it a 9 for style. If you're like grading it on a low ABV stout, we'll say that. If this was, 10 and up, 11 and up, this would be perfect. If it was nice and thick, but had these same flavors. And for personal personal preference or enjoyment, however you say it, I'll give it an 8. An 8.
All right.
9 for style.
Okay.
Cheers. What the hell were you doing just now, Greg?
Tending to the fire.
It sounded like you were crashing around. I thought you were like putting beer cans into a bag or something.
I was crushing the newspapers to fit under because I'm having issues getting the fire to get as hot as I wanted. So I'm cheating and putting newspapers.
How cold is it there? It's not even cold here. Like
it's not cold. It's not cold. It's just I'm just adding rather than turn the heat up. I'm just a little chilly down here. So plus I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt because that's what I do. And just want a little heat. Why not? Plus, I like burning wood. Well, so, hi, Nick.
I will start this beer discussion by saying one word. It's actually 2 words stuck together, but then sure will resonate, and Greg will understand.
Probably.
Bone Shaker.
Yeah.
Is basically Petit Sol's answer to Bone Shaker. It's got that pine forward, caramel, malty bitterness. I feel like it's maybe a little bit more on the stale side, but it's right up the same alley. I don't like it as much as Bone Shaker, but it's the same kind of theme beer where you want yourself a nice, good, old school pine forward IPA. This thing is reasonably tasty, and it's not as cheap as it used to be, but it's 7% ABV, so it's right up the same ballpark as like. Compared to, I feel like Headstock's a bit fruitier. Bone Shaker's just got that nice bitterness without being terribly resiny. This one here just seems like a little weaker with a bit more resin popping through. And I'm not as crazy a fan of this one, but I'm not enjoying it either. I'm just looking. Actually, I didn't realize it's got the date on it here. God, it's not that old, is it? 5/4/2023. Okay, maybe that's why it tastes like ass. All right, so it's not that bad. I mean, I don't even know if that's actually the right date. It's kind of like one of those printings where it's really hard to read on there. Like it's like half on there.
It's not albino friendly, is what you're saying, Nick?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm pretty sure that says 5-4, but I'm not. That might be expiry.
Maybe it
Maybe
says
that's a
6
6
6
month.
6.
Yeah, maybe 5. Like May 4th is the expiry date. So, which means that this beer's probably almost like 4 months old, which would explain the staleness. But I don't know. I'm still not. I'm still enjoying the beer. It's got a nice old school. Yeah. To quote Paul here, yes, it is Pennsylvania fresh. It's New Brunswick fresh, and the NB Liquor fresh. So
Alberta fresh.
Alberta fresh. As fresh as
Alberta
they're
can get
getting
some
these
fresh
days,
stuff.
because
It's just people don't buy it.
seltzers are selling more. People are buying that shit, and now all the liquor stores want to sell that instead of craft beer. So, all right, yeah, it's okay. It's definitely kind of like in the same league as like Bone Shaker, but I don't think it's as good as those two. But it is still fairly tasty. So I'm going to give it a 7.5 for the style of old school IPA, like West Coast. Well, I guess not really West Coast, but and a 7 overall for an overall enjoyment. That's where I'm sticking with on that one. So, all right, who do we have? Gary, you want to read more comments?
Yeah, I could do that.
All right.
Where the hell were we here?
we're
Blah,
left here,
blah,
right?
blah. And then Lee asked what some kind of question. And
Magic
Chris F. Grave, good rip there, Lee Russell. Still
think
down
it's-
for some Belgian
this.
buyouts. Love to try me some Chimay Ice. That just sounds wrong.
Chimay Ice, what is that?
I think he's making a joke. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
what's
definitely
up.
think there's a joke going on there.
Yeah, the Belgian buyout thing. And then Paul saying in response to something, bit of letdown, never wrong.
That's about the
It's
quad.
24 a 4-pack here. It's a nice too pricey for an East drinking. Gotcha, buddy. I think it's an easy drinking quad. It's a bit too pricey for an easy drinking quad for me. I think is what he's going for. And then I'd take the trap over
What's
to
that?
South Hendry.
$24 for a 4-pack of the quad. Okay, that makes sense. That would be a bit much then.
And then everything else has been red, except Paul did a poll. What style is ruining the craft beer industries? Seltzer's one. Yeah, probably. Makes sense.
I didn't even see the poll.
New comment.
Yeah, well, that's Chris leading that revolution.
All right, Trappist, PA Fresh, and do poll.
I don't mind. I have a
Seltzer
seltzer now and
one.
then, but like I'm not nearly as much of a fan of them as I am of beer. So
Yeah, that's
My-
just it. I
my-
mean, I feel like fuck seltzers.
They got
Well,
vodka in them,
that's the thing. I mean, first of all, you can make your own seltzers pretty easily. But my whole thing is, I mean, and this is just me personally, I'm like, if I'm not going to fully enjoy, listen, alcohol is not healthy for you. No offense or but, it's not healthy for you. So
No.
if I'm gonna have it, I'm gonna enjoy the fuck out of it. If I'm not enjoying it, if I'm just drinking it for the sake of getting alcohol into me, I'd rather just drink a fucking hop water and just increase my health, hopefully a little bit, you know. And when I want to drink, I'm going to drink what I want to drink, which will be a delicious beer.
I just feel like seltzers and COVID was the two biggest factors in killing the craft beer industry that we knew. Like, how are we supposed to, like, we can't go to festivals anymore, basically, because they're not the same as they used to be.
Well,
Old
double
gray mare, she ain't what
double
she-
fisting too many beers
gray
and,
bears,
and
he ain't what
chasing
she used
Nick
to be.
around a festival have ruined festivals for me.
Oh,
I heard the
shit.
Edmonton Beer Festival, the Edmonton International Beer Festival was a real banger.
Wow.
Basically revived the whole craft beer industry.
Yeah.
What I heard.
Yeah.
John Beer Fest is
I
dead.
will not see anything. I will not see anything. Actually, you know what? Apparently, there's one in England that rivaled it too.
There we go.
Oh,
God save the queen.
Yeah, there was
It-
one that rivaled.
I believe
it
there
the
was
same weekend.
two craft brewery booths,
3.
and okay, 3. Wow.
Yeah,
And then
Wow.
the rest of it was either value brands like
because they
bottom shelf liquor brands, and then
Mhm.
like seltzers and shit. So
Mhm.
yeah, it sounded pretty terrible.
No, and there's like 3 guys that were selling cheese almost, and that's
Yeah.
it.
I I really wanted to go for the laugh, but yeah, I just didn't have time.
Spend $40 for a laugh, dude. That's that. You can
Might as
go
well
somewhere
burn
else,
away.
like fucking White Ave, and get a better laugh there. And it's cheaper. Well, unless you pick up a hooker. Anyways,
Cocaine will save the craft
depends
industry.
depends where you pick up the hooker.
mhm.
Kick this Dan guy out. He's too fucking dirty.
Oh,
All right.
Oh.
So I think it's time that we go around the circle again and start with Greg. Of all the beers you heard here tonight, which one would you have rather have tried?
Well, the Aphrodite is tempting because I remember having that. I remember liking it, but Nick won me over with Bone Shaker.
Oh,
Whenever-
come on now.
Whenever Nick shakes his bone, it means I want to
And
taste
wave it
it.
in your face.
That's right.
All right.
Come on.
Dan, you won last week. Get over it.
Red beer.
Jamie.
Jamie. Okay. So that's where's Jamie? I'm gonna write down the B right next to his name. Okay. Next up is Monsieur Dan.
Motherfucker. I mean, like, you had me at stout. You had me at stout. Jamie, you son of a bitch.
Dan votes Jamie.
I've never had Aphrodite.
Alrighty, so let's move over to Jamie. What do you vote for, Jamie? What would you have rather have had?
Well, I mean, Chimay Blue is one of my, like, I love that beer. But in this case, I'm going to pick Nick.
Ooh.
Mm.
Yeah. I heard Pine, old school IPA. I'm in. That's me.
Yep, that is you.
All right, and for me, I'll bring myself up here, and I'm casting the final vote. I could either vote for, I can't vote for myself, but I could vote for Jamie. And to be honest, Jamie's beer looks amazing. I have had it before on a number of occasions. But the one that kind of interests me the most here, and I realize this leaves everybody in a tie, Dan's. I know that quad might be overpriced to Paul, but I remember having good memories of trying that a long time ago, and I would love to try it again. And that leaves us to who's the winner tonight. So we're gonna have to toss that up to people who are not in the chat. So anybody who's watching right now.
Nick.
Let's hear it, Greg. What do you say?
Well, no. Before we toss that up to people who may or not be in the chat, unless Lady Lee wants to be the vote if she's still there, I was gonna say who didn't vote for either one of those beers. Don't we have somebody who didn't vote?
I'm
for them?
the only one that didn't vote for either of those beers.
Okay, so cast the tie-breaking vote.
So
well,
say
FCPA.
that means
did.
that Paul is in the chat saying vote for
Oh no, wait, sorry, I forgot. Nick's tied with Dan, so that wouldn't work.
Yeah, because I can't vote for myself, so I can't cast a tiebreaker. So that means Paul is voting for Jamie, and Jamie is officially the winner.
Oh, God.
Yay.
Jamie shows up once out of every
Aphrodite
3 fucking
dinner,
months. And
dinner. I don't know where.
I like turtles.
Yay. Okay, I'm gonna put myself back up in front and center because we actually do have the magic question I asked for like the first time in God knows how long.
I asked it last week.
Yeah, I suppose you were on the panel too, were you?
Yes, I was.
Yeah. All right, so we are actually going to do a new beer. We're actually going to do a proper BA101 next week.
Oh, yay!
We're going to do the research on this brewery, but I think I might have done it already once. This is a beer that just showed up here in New Rendy Liquor. I'm pretty sure it's an old beer in Ontario. This is Guilty Remnant from Blood Brothers. They're white stout with coffee, vanilla, and lactose.
Yeah.
Won't be long now.
What the fuck? There's
And,
lactose beer out there that I can't get.
Really? Jade can't get this? Oh, he must be so special. Yeah, it's weird. Like three fucking Blood Brothers beers showed up here in New Brunswick. Like we got the Auto Pop, the cherry sour. We got this one, the Paradise Lost, which is another spiced cherry sour. I might drink on my own later. But the only one that you guys could get that I could get of the three that we just got are this one here. So we're gonna do this one next week, barring unless other people want to come, and we'll temporarily do something else for the week. Play by ear. But at least this is the plan. We will be doing this at some point, probably next week. All right. So,
well, for whatever reason you don't want to do it next week, it's Agnes's birthday next week. So find, I don't know, beers that remind you of Agnes's vagina or titties, or I don't know what do you associate with women? Titties, vaginas, butts, personalities. Nah.
I can't bring the Lighthouse beer that had a red ale with a naked chick on it. Damn it. They had to get rid of that one.
The awesome people that somehow put up with Greg.
Ooh.
Oh, there you go. Oh, okay. So wait, that could be a theme. So beers that you for some reason don't like, but Stockholm syndrome makes you put up with them, like Nick and Moosehead.
All right, so non-alcoholic beers. It's sold.
Actually, this would be perfect right here. This is Wernschruder. I got a can sitting here, and I hated this beer, and I dumped it in the sink when I did my beer review. But for some reason, it's super cheap, and I'll actually drink it now.
And it's still
like back. This is $3.29 a can here still.
Can I find?
That's
Boxer?
why I still buy it. It's not that great of a Pilsner, but it's okay. Okay. Anyway,
well, it's no steam whistle. The number one
no
Pilsner
steam whistle.
Of the
Lee Russell would have to buy a steam whistle.
Well, he loves that beer. I think his Hughley beer reviews used to rate that beer highly.
You're welcome.
Shoutouts to Ashley Sexton, their head brewer.
Epic fail.
Oh, he's
kettle.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad he.
This show supports female brewers in the brewing industry.
Right. Okay, I think we are going to take this thing offline for our Discord channel. I want to thank everybody for watching it, which is like Paul, Lady Lee, Chris F. Gray was in there. Lee was in there earlier. He can't see this because he wasn't chatting. Of course, Scott, if he's still watching, hasn't sold his computer yet. All right, so thanks for watching, folks, and we'll chat with you next week.
Hey, now I don't know what Chris Peters did, but Lee Russell dipped his crinkle fries in ketchup.
Oh,
Chris Peters dipped Lee's crinkle fries and ketchup.
He dipped his mac and cheese.
Jeez. And had mac and cheese on the side, right?
Oh, terrible.